Hey everyone! Today I'm going to give a review of Bloodlines by Richelle Mead, but before I want to do that, I want to apologize for the silence. I got back from Punta Cana 2 weeks ago, and when I returned, there was so much to do that I had no time for anything. So let's just get on with this review. If you have not read The Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead, you should leave right now because even the spoiler-free part of Bloodlines will spoil you for the rest of this series. And this is a fantastic series which everyone should read. So let's begin with a spoiler-free review of Bloodlines. So Bloodlines begins with Sydney Sage, who is an alchemist. We met her in the last, in I think it was we see her in Spiritbound first, and then last Sacrifice. She's an alchemist, and their job is to protect the humans and keep the vampires a secret. So she's woken up in the middle of the night in fear of going to a re-education center, which is sort of a rehab for alchemists who have crossed a line in their relationships with the vampires. So she goes and she's assigned a mission to protect Lisa's illegitimate sister in Palm Springs with a few other people. All of those people are Eddie and Adrian. Now, what I really liked about this book was the different perspective we get on these people. You know, we see Adrian in a really sort of good light through Rose. And Adrian in this book isn't that great. I really loved him, but I mean, like, his habits and the way he acts isn't that great. And we kind of see that in the last series too. But I think it's more pronounced in this series because of Sydney's perspective on vampires and everything. But I'm really glad that we get to see more of Adrian because he is a good character, and he's interesting, and there's so much more to him. Same with Sydney. So and then we see Eddie, who is the guardian, who's Lisa's guardian, and he's a fiercely loyal character. So I really liked him as well. Lisa's sister Jillian, or Jill, I suppose. At the end of the book, at the end of Last Sacrifice, I was kind of weary about her because she seemed a little sketchy. But in this book, she just doesn't know who she is now. You know, her whole world was taken away from her, so now she doesn't really know who she is or where she fits in with her new family. So that was really good. So this book follows Sydney, who's in Palm Springs, and pretty much being the mom of the group and taking care of everyone. So this is what I really liked about this was, obviously, like I said, the new perspective offered on the series and the characters. I was really interested about Sydney when we first met her in the Vampire Academy series because she has such a different outlook on vampires. Because when you read Vampire Academy, you see that, you know, just because they drink blood doesn't mean that they're awful people, I guess. But Sydney sees them as awful, and so does her, sort of the other alchemist. So I thought that was really interesting. The cover is, I guess not the greatest, but it's still not the worst I've ever seen. So yeah, that's my spoiler-free review, so if you haven't read it, goodbye. I went into this book knowing that Sydney, there's supposed to be some sort of chemistry between Sydney and Adrian, and I'm assuming that's Adrian on the cover. So I was really excited because I wanted to see more of Adrian. Because by the end of the Vampire Academy series, I was actually sort of rooting more for Adrian than Dimitri because of how he sort of just drops off the face of the earth in the Vampire Academy series, and he comes back and he's just completely against being with Rose and everything. So I thought that Adrian was kind of the better pick. So it was really nice to see Adrian in this, and I was absolutely surprised that him and Jill have a spirit bond. I was getting the hints in the first few chapters, and then one of the bigger hints dropped, and I was blown away. I wasn't expecting that at all because of the way Adrian is. He's not responsible. He's not someone you can depend on. So I thought that was interesting, and it puts him in a different light. It shows that he does care despite his flaws and the way he acts. So that was really exciting. What I really liked about this book was Sydney's progression as a character. Now, she starts out not absolutely hating the vampires, because in the last two books she sort of starts to see them in a new light, and this book really pushes that over the edge, as well as the second book. But that's neither here nor now. So I really enjoyed Sydney's progression. You know, she takes on the role of the caregiver and the mother in the series very well, despite her not wanting to, and she starts having feelings for these characters, you know, that she wasn't expecting. So that was really nice. I love watching characters progress from something at the beginning of a series to the end because it's completely different. So I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed her and Jill's relationship. It begins really rocky at the beginning, and they have some rough patches they work through, but in the end, they do end up becoming friends and become confidants almost. I thought that was really exciting. And one of the things I love about Sydney is her ability to talk herself out of any kind of any kind of situation. So whenever Jill needs something or the others need something at school, she's able to get her way whatever she wants. So I thought that was really amusing and exciting. Overall, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I think I enjoyed it more than the Vampire Academy series, but I'm not really sure. I think it's just too early to tell. Um, yeah, it was exciting, and it was sort of like I couldn't put it down. I wanted to know what happened next. There's so many secrets, you know, about the alchemist, and then about what's going on, about the vampire hunters and everything. Although I had a feeling that Lee was in on it because he was just so, I don't know, he was just so sketchy, and he was always trying to shut up his dad about the vampire hunters, and there's just something off about him. So I pegged that from the beginning, and I felt pretty proud of myself when it was him. Although that was pretty sad that he killed his own, I think it was his own cousin, and I felt bad for Clarence. I think it is Clarence. You know, losing his niece, and then his son is dead now because he wanted to be Strigoi. I wasn't expecting that, and I was wondering who turned him. Unless I missed that somewhere in this book, I'm really curious as to who turned him back. And I was thinking about it, and the only other people we know who could have was now his name is escaping me. Those two brothers. I can't remember now. Anyways, Victor and his brother. I can't remember his brother's name. So I'm assuming that it's his brother who turned him, although I can be completely wrong. I pretty much marathoned this book in one sitting, so that's probably why the details are escaping me. Either way, this book was fantastic, and I definitely recommend it if you've read the Vampire Academy series. Even if you haven't read the Vampire Academy series, I recommend that one as well. They're both fantastic, and even though this is a spin-off of the Vampire Academy series, it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem like she just wrote it for more money, which is what I was worried about the most. So I'm really excited, and this was a fantastic book, and everyone should read it because it's definitely worth the read. Yeah, so 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I'm excited to read the second one, which I already have, so technically I'm excited to read the third one. I'll put a review for the second one up soon, and I have a book haul to put up as well, so I'm pretty excited for that as well. So thanks!